Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Lifestyles. This is a real-time, live, interactive show covering everything from what's trending in pop culture, beauty, lifestyle, and fashion. And we have a very exciting show today because we're going to be joined by the founder of skincare company Megaglow, where Megan Seidner is going to be giving us a skincare 101, as well as telling us all about how to apply our sunscreen and the difference between a chemical and mineral sunscreen. But the best part about the show, you guys, is that it is live. So we need your help from home to play along with our games, take our polls, and make this show as fun and interactive as it can be. And speaking of interactive, we have already gotten started on some of our fun polls, and now's your chance to get involved. So over on YouTube, we asked you guys about a little bit of skincare, where we said, what is the biggest skincare sin? Is it constantly sleeping in makeup, skipping daily sunscreen, regularly popping your pimples, or never cleaning your makeup brushes? And so far, you guys think that skipping daily sunscreen is the biggest skincare sin, which is pretty spot on with what we're going to be talking about today. But we're going to restart this poll and keep it up for the duration of the show so you guys can vote on what you think is the biggest skincare sin. So all you have to do is comment 1 if you think sleeping in makeup is the absolute worst, comment number 2 if skipping daily sunscreen is the biggest sin, 3 for regularly popping pimples, or 4 for not cleaning your makeup brushes. And looks like we already have some people in the chat. I see Mary, I see Danielle, I see Margaret. You guys are voting, and some people are thinking popping pimples, sleeping in makeup, but let your voice be heard because later on we're going to have our skincare expert share what she thinks is the biggest thing you could do for your skin in a negative way, but also the positive things as well. But we're gonna hop into our first segment and catch you up on all things news and what you missed. So looks like the most cursed spinoff is getting an end to its misery, as HBO Max announced that this season of And Just Like That will be its last. Despite initial interest, this Sex and the City spinoff struggled to get going with audiences, with several saying that the show is tediously woke and the beloved characters in Carrie, Charlotte, and Miranda are completely unrecognizable from the original. And the Thought Journal even called it, quote, an abomination, where it's like the writers sat around and said, oh, you loved these characters? Just wait. We're gonna make you hate them one by one. Oosh. So the feedback was clearly not enough from saving the show from its natural ending, according to showrunners. And stars of the show have shared this week their profound sadness, yet gratitude for the experience. So the season 3 finale will be a 2-parter and will premiere on HBO Max this August 14th. So to fans of the show, I want to know from you, did And Just Like That ruin the legacy of Sex and the City? Or was this show not all that bad and not deserving of being canceled? In my opinion, I think it needed to be canceled. I was a big fan of the original Sex and the City. I myself consider myself a mix between Carrie and Miranda, but I do think that the show needed some updating. However, the way that they went about it in this show was all wrong because yes, they modernized it, but didn't make it true and authentic to the characters. So I hope this serves as a lesson to any Hollywood executives out there looking to reboot any beloved classics, that you gotta update it in a way that remains true to the characters, because I agree with the internet that this show just lost the original magic of Sex and the City. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, moving on into our next pop news story of the week. Hollywood has some new couples that none of us had on our bingo cards. In an unexpected soft launch, Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson have taken their Naked Gun chemistry off screen and into real life. And the internet is loving this age-appropriate and heartwarming romance. But the internet is split about this next couple in Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas. Now, these two have reportedly grown close while working on their upcoming thriller called Deeper. And while their relationship is unconfirmed, the pair were spotted holding hands in Vermont recently. How romantic. But in possibly the most unexpected pairing, Katy Perry has been connected to former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The pair have been spotted dining together in Montreal and cozying up backstage at Katy's Lifetime's tour. So we have a political pop star crossover, we have a Scientologist Bond connection, and a budding 90s romance. So I want to know from you guys, which couple surprises you the most, and which one do you think could go the distance? In my opinion, I think Liam and Pamela are such a natural pairing, and I'm so excited, and I think this is such an authentic romance, especially because Liam hasn't dated since the death of his late wife from 16 years ago. So I'm excited to see this one come to fruition. Now, with Katie and Justin Trudeau, I actually kind of like this pairing. I think I could see it working because if you think about it, Prince Harry is royalty and Meghan Markle was an actress, and that was an unexpected pairing that kind of works. I think this is like the thing of fan fictions, the thing of romance novels, that I'm rooting for this one, especially because she's coming off the heels of her divorce from Orlando Bloom. I want to see her be happy. But when it comes to Ana de Armas, Anna, run away from Tom Cruise. He is older than you. He is going to get you into some weird Scientology contract that will take you years to get out of. Don't even get involved. Run as fast as you can. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. All right, moving on into our next pop news segment. Chappell Roan finally releases her latest single, but did she miss the moment? After a year of viral performances of it, Chappell Roan has officially released The Subway as her latest single. The music video also dropped and received widespread praise for its surrealistic visuals and heartbreaking New York City symbolism. But many fans are surprised that this is her latest single because the song is simply not new to them. And after hearing the live performance for the past year, many feel that the polished studio version lacks the same emotional depth as the live versions that they're used to. But don't let the criticism fool you because the song nonetheless debuted at #1 on Spotify, and it is now the biggest streaming debut for a female artist in 2025. So I want to know from you guys, any Chappell fans out there, is The Subway still a hit even though it took over a year to come out? Or did the wait cost some of its power? In my opinion, a banger is still a banger, whether or not you do a studio version or whether or not it takes you too long to release. This story reminds me a lot of Doechie's song Anxiety, where she had a viral clip on TikTok of this demo that people demanded she make into a single. She got into that studio really quickly, and people criticized it that it didn't sound the same. Nonetheless, it's one of her biggest singles and her #1 song on Spotify. So it goes to show that if it's a hit, it's gonna be a hit regardless of production, and I think The Subway definitely ranged true with that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And our last story that I'm gonna catch you guys up on is both laughable and horrifying because Matt Rife is now the legal caretaker of the real-life Annabelle doll. Yes, stand-up comedian Matt Rife has officially taken over the occult museum owned by Ed and Lorraine Warren, including the Annabelle doll from the Conjuring cinematic universe. But get this, you guys, eerily enough, one of Annabelle's handlers died this past July while giving a tour. And although authorities have confirmed that the doll wasn't present during the time, it has definitely not helped her infamous reputation and tragic association. But nonetheless, Matt Rife and YouTuber Elton Castee have taken over guardianship of the doll, along with over 750 other paranormal artifacts within the museum. Now, the property has been closed for the past 6 years, but plans are already in motion to have some tours and possibly some overnight stays. So to any paranormal fans out there, I want to know from you guys, do you have what it takes to brave an overnight stay in the occult museum with the real-life Annabelle doll? If you do, maybe Matt Rife will be there to lighten the mood. I'm a big horror fan. I only watch scary movies. I love the paranormal. I would absolutely go tour this museum, but you will not catch me dead staying overnight. I'm not trying to get possessed by a demonic doll. But let me know if you guys will. But that's what you missed in this week's entertainment and pop culture news. Make sure you are following us at Lifestyles News for all of the latest in celebrity and pop culture news. But coming up next, we are bringing on a skincare expert to answer all of your questions when it comes to your routine. We'll be right back. Today's guest is the founder of Mega Glow, the skincare brand that's not just about radiant skin, but radiant confidence. Mega Glow is built on the belief that skincare should also be about self-love, as well as confidence, long-lasting results, and powerful ingredients. So Megan Seidner is here today to share all of the tips, tricks, and must-knows when it comes to our skincare. So Megan, where are you calling from today?
Thanks, guys. I'm calling from Los Angeles adjacent, California.
Love it. And tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started Mega Glow Skincare.
Yeah, so I've been doing Mega Glow for about 2-3 years now, almost 3 years. And it all kind of accumulated from when I was a lot younger. I had really bad acne, and there was at the time not as much information as there is now. Right on TikTok, social media, YouTube, Google Chat, to find out what really works for you. And kind of the flip side to that is with all the available information now, there's almost too much information, and a lot of that information is hard to kind of sift through or figure out what really works particularly for you. So with Mega Glow, our whole premise is that we really push education and finding exactly what works for you. So we offer things like free skin consultations and one-on-one skin consultations where we look at, things like your diet and topical medicines that you're using or oral medicines that you're using to make sure that your skincare routine kind of fits all together with that. And we send out newsletters every Sunday to highlight ingredients, so you can learn a little bit more about that too. So even if you decide I don't want to use a Mega Glow product, you can go shopping at Sephora or Ulta or the derm store and kind of look through ingredients and say, oh, I learned about this one and I know that works for my skin or what I need. And so you can take that knowledge and kind of use it wherever. So Mega Glow really, I wanted to make sure that people had the information they needed and the tools they needed to have a really successful skincare regimen.
I think that's such an important mission statement for any brand, is that it's not just about the product, but about informing the people as well and really educating on that. So I love that you said that. But I also think it's just so amazing that you started your own company. So I want to know is, what has been your proudest moment in this journey starting your own business?
I'd say just people who regularly come back and buy my product, or someone who's like, oh, I heard my friend is using your cleanser and it changed her skincare routine for her, or, I think that's just my favorite thing, is people being able to tell other people that they love my products, and then just someone coming back and buying the product again and again.
So it really shows that you are making a difference. I love that. Well, we're going to showcase a little bit of not only your personal content, but also some of the Mega Glow content as well, and ask you some questions. So the first little video that I'll play here is from your personal TikTok. First of all, congratulations. You are a new mom. And over on your personal TikTok, you share a lot of daily vlogs and daily routines as well. How has being a new mom impacted your own self-care routine?
Well, definitely just squeezing in that self-care routine at the end or beginning of the day is, a lot harder. I don't have the luxury of I used to brag that I would have a 2-hour skincare routine, and I really loved that time in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That time has been cut down a lot. So now, it's closer to like 5-10 minutes. And, the great thing about my products too is that you can use more or less, or do something more in the morning or more at night, and everything kind of works together. So yeah, but being a first-time mom and having that time to do self-care is definitely a lot harder at first.
Yes, and that's why I love your TikTok, is that it's great showing the postpartum life and an actual genuine look, but also still encouraging people to incorporate some of that self-care. So I love that. The next video that we have is, again, on your personal TikTok. You do show a lot of skincare routines. But what I want to know is, when you're doing these, do you do, especially with that 2-hour long skincare routine, are you doing this in silence and meditative? Are you listening to music, or are you watching any type of show or movies?
Okay, so generally I'd say it would be music, but in a postpartum life, it's in silence or watching the baby monitor.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so a little bit of both. Some music for you, but then also you got to have your responsibilities as well. But you guys can go follow Megan's personal TikTok at Megan. We will leave the little graphic here so you guys can follow there. But moving into some of the Mega Glow content into your actual brand here for the next photo. So you have a lot of different products, and I feel like when it comes to skincare, like you mentioned, a lot of people aren't educated. How do you figure out what type of skin you have, whether it be oily, combination, or dry? What is a fail-safe way to determine your skin type?
So I'd say my favorite way to figure that out is when you're fresh out the shower, how your skin feels if you don't wash it right away. So maybe, 15 minutes, 20 minutes after you shower, your skin's feeling really tight. You probably have drier skin. If it's feeling tight in just some areas, I would say combination. Or if it's not feeling tight at all and you're maybe just a little oily skin. So I think that's kind of the best way to figure that out.
I don't know why I'd ever consider that, because I feel like I see TikTok hacks all the time of like, stick a tissue to your face, and if it sticks, you have this, but it's never a fail-safe way. But I feel like that makes sense, is that right out of the shower is as clean as it's gonna be. So test there to see what kind of skin type you have, and then like you mentioned, apply your products based on that. So good to know. And our last photo from the Mega Glow Instagram account. Final answer, because I don't even know. What is the correct order to apply our nighttime skincare?
So generally it's thinnest to thickest. So you want to think like the thinnest molecule at the bottom of the thicker molecule, kind of like oil and water, right? So oil sits on top of water. Same with your skincare, thinnest to thickest. So cleanser, toner, essence, serum, night cream, oil.
Okay, so you can do the heavier creams with oil still on top. It's not going to be doing too much. Oh.
It totally depends on your skin, right? Like if your skin can handle it, go ahead and do it. You saw like that slugging maybe happening on TikTok a couple years back. Some people's face can handle it. Mine personally can't, so I don't dive into that at all. But if you can handle it, I always say then do it. So, but yeah, you can definitely do a nighttime oil. We have a marula oil that I like to use at night, and I put that to sleep on. Yeah, it's great.
So then I also heard a rumor that when you are doing a lot of nighttime skincare, that in the morning you shouldn't wash your face, because then you're just washing it all off. That instead you should just rinse with water and do it again. What's your opinions on the morning washing of your face?
So I personally think the morning is the most important, especially if you're not changing your pillowcase every night, or not sleeping in a bonnet, because you are catching all of your dirty hair or sweat is building up on your skin, your dirty pillowcase. You got to wash all that off and make sure you got your morning skincare routine going.
Makes sense. We're getting some social media comments, but we're going to highlight those at the end, because now we're going to move into some questions regarding social media and some viral things we've been seeing on TikTok. So the first video comes from Dr. Hasia, where she shares online the best ingredients that you need based on your skin. So for example, salicylic acid for acne or zinc for oily skin. What I want to know from you, Megan, is how much do things like stress, sleep, and diet also affect your skin, in addition to these ingredients within your skincare?
Well, things like stress, diet, and sleep are definitely factors that are hormonal, especially acne. Then when you think about diet, you can think about maybe not drinking enough water. So that definitely dehydrates your skin. And if you've ever gone out maybe to a music festival or just been out all night, pulling an all-nighter for work, you kind of wake up in the morning, or not wake up in the morning, but look in the mirror in the morning and kind of maybe your skin's a little extra wrinkly. So that can definitely be a factor of diet, right? Maybe you were eating a lot of pizza or something quick that you could grab. So not drinking enough water too. So I definitely think all those factors also play a huge role.
Good to know. So it's not just about the products you use, but about your lifestyle in general. So don't blame the products if you're not getting any sleep and eating nothing but French fries all day. But you didn't hear it from me in that case. The next question from social media. So over on TikTok, the Garza crew, which has 5.2 million followers, they share their skincare routines from their 8-year-old daughters, which I think we can all agree is a little too young to be starting with skincare. But with our demographic, we want to know, when is the best time to start anti-aging products for the older demographic who's already involved in skincare?
So first of all, I kind of hate the term anti-aging, right? We're always aging, so we call it healthy aging. We want to make sure we're aging in a more healthy manner. I think you can start anti-aging with sunscreen as early, as 10 years old. I played soccer growing up, and I can definitely see my hands. They are aged more than most of my body. I think I just didn't put a lot of sunscreen on my hands. But if you're going to use like a retinol, tretinoin, niacinamide type of product, I would wait maybe till you're 20. But anything younger than that, these 8-year-olds just wear sunscreen, little babies.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. And I can relate too, because growing up playing soccer, I look back at photos and be like, oh my God, I was so tan. How come I can't get tan anymore? Oh, I wasn't wearing sunscreen. And I'm gonna hate that in a few years, that's for sure. So all those young kids out there, you don't need a nighttime anti-aging, anti-wrinkle moisturizer, just sunscreen and you're good to go.
Just sunscreen, yeah.
Crazy. And our last social media question is, so Ryan Lynn went viral on TikTok for trying the salmon sperm facial, which is known as one of the most painful beauty services out there, where they're literally injecting salmon DNA into your skin to improve elasticity and prevent wrinkles. But a fun one for you, Megan, is what's the wildest thing you've done in the name of self-care?
I've actually done some intense laser treatments myself. I found out I was allergic to nitrous oxide by doing microneedling, essentially really intense microneedling, and they give you nitrous oxide to inhale during the treatment, and I broke out in hives and realized, oh, I'm allergic. So that was pretty intense.
Oh my gosh, was at least the treatment worth it after our breaking out in hives?
I would say no, do not spend your money on Morpheus 8. That was a big dent in the wallet, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Good to know. I think one of the weirdest things I've done is I've done one of those sensory deprivation tanks where you're literally like floating in salt water. And it was cool, it was fun to try, but I tell people like, don't spend your money on that. It kind of just felt like a really nice nap in water. But sometimes you got to try things just to either self-relax or just to test them out and see. So that is a good one. But we do have a couple of questions over on social media. Let's highlight that comment from Mary. So Mary over on YouTube asks, do you really need an eye cream, or is it just a fancy moisturizer?
So that question definitely is one that comes up a lot, and one of the reasons I haven't put out an eye cream for so long is because I really felt like you could just use your moisturizer under your eyes. But some of us do have darker pigmentation under our eyes, and sometimes you're not using a moisturizer that targets that specifically. So if you're looking for something that's targeting discoloration or maybe the fine lines around your eyes that isn't necessarily in your daily or nightly moisturizer, then sure, maybe you do need a moisturizer that is targeting those a little bit more. And some people tend to be either more oily around their eyes or more dry. So if you need something that targets those things more specifically, then I think you could definitely go spend some money on an eye cream.
Makes sense. I love that. And our last question comes from Obella Mafia over on YouTube, and they want to know, you actually mentioned this keyword. Everyone says use a retinol, but what does that even do? I myself am confused, like retinol, tretinoids, what is the deal with those?
Yeah, so essentially what they do is they speed up skin cell turnover. So you have different layers of your skin, and they penetrate into your skin to help exfoliate, really. So things that are higher, like you might see people using 1.0 tretinoin, which is pretty aggressive, and that's going to really dig deep. Kind of think of it as almost like a chemical peel, right? It's going to dig deep into your skin to help your skin rebuild. And for retinol, it's going to sometimes make your skin a little bit thicker and make it a little stronger, and then also help with the discoloration. So I definitely recommend a retinol. We have a retinol product too with Mega Glow, and I always say it's like a facial in a bottle because you wake up in the morning, and one time someone said, "And look, you just look so clean when you wake up." I said, "It's that a drink cream."
Oh, I love that. Waking up with that refreshed, glowing from within, all natural. So I'm not using a retinol now, but I will probably pick up one of those Mega Glow products and test it out. I was like, that sounds like I want to wake up looking pretty. Like, this doesn't come naturally. I got to put some stuff on. Well, thank you, Megan, for sharing some of those skincare 101. But we're going to be moving on to something else that everybody else needs to know. So now that we've covered all of the skincare basics, Megan's sticking around to break down one of the most important steps in our skincare routine, but also one of the most misunderstood, and that is sunscreen. Things like, what's the difference between a chemical and mineral sunscreen? How often should we reapply? And do we really need to wear it inside? Megan Seidner, founder of Mega Glow, is going to be giving us all of the SPF 101. But before we hop into it, let's check back in on our poll. So we asked you guys, what is the number one skincare sin? And you guys can vote right here and right now and let your voices be heard. So comment number 1 if you think the worst thing you can do is constantly sleeping in your makeup. Comment 2 if it's skipping your daily sunscreen. Comment 3 if you think regularly popping your pimples is the worst thing you could do. Or comment number 4 if it's not cleaning your makeup brushes. Looks like these are already changing. You guys are getting in your answers live. All right, I see Mary, I see Sandra, okay, everyone, okay. We're getting some of these here. So when we asked you on YouTube, skipping sunscreen was the biggest faux pas, but so far you guys think that popping pimples might do the worst damage to your skin. Well, Megan's here to tell us about why skipping sunscreen could be the worst thing you might be doing for your skin. So Megan, tell us all about sunscreen 101, and more importantly, what the heck is the difference between a chemical and a mineral sunscreen?
Yeah, so I think it's important to remember that SPF literally means sun protection factor. So I think a lot of people kind of like, oh yeah, I use an SPF, don't really know what it means, maybe what the numbers mean, what broad spectrum means. So kind of at a high level, right? We've got a broad spectrum sunscreen. Mega Glow particularly has all of our sunscreens are broad spectrum. And then you might see the numbers like 40, 45, 50, right? So basically those are just the percentages of the UVA and UVB rays that are being blocked. And then we kind of can think, okay, what's a UVA versus a UVB? UVA rays literally UV aging, UVA, and then UVB is UV for burning, B. So most sunscreens are going to cover the UVB rays, and that's just a regular sunscreen, probably something like Coppertone, right? Or this Coppertone Sports, something like that. If you want to pick up something that's more broad spectrum and it's helping with the UVA and UVB, that's going to be generally something more higher end. I think Neutrogena might have some broad spectrum, but things like Elta MD, obviously Mega Glow, Skin Science, kind of something on the higher end is usually more coverage for the different type of rays. So those are great, right? So those are, you want to, depending on what you want out of your sunscreen, it's important to look at whether or not you want a UVA, UVB, or broad spectrum. Something too that, talking about just the numbers, it's really common in Korean skincare. You might see something that says SPF plus or plus 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 or plus 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 plus. And in Asian skincare and the European skincare, those pluses essentially are like our numbers. So something like SPF plus is going to be like an SPF 15. It's going to be the lowest. And then plus 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 is going to be something higher, like 50, right? So that's, pretty much kind of sunscreen basics, right? So when we talk about things like broad spectrum, what the numbers mean, and then a big, I'd say, buzzword now in sunscreen is a nano sunscreen. So those are really big. Yes, nanoparticles are essentially things like our minerals, so titanium dioxide and zinc that are created to be extra small so that they rub in a little bit better. Mineral sunscreens, and we'll kind of get into it a little bit more, but are known to leave that white cast, right? So
Hmm.
the nano sunscreen and the nanoparticles are really huge. And actually, I'd say in places like Hawaii or out by the beach, even here in California, the nano sunscreens are more popular because they are healthier for our reefs.
Oh, okay. So it's not just good for your skin, but for the environment as well. But I like what you're saying in the sense of some sunscreens are so hard to rub in that I am all for these nanoparticles within the sunscreens.
Yeah, so we can talk about mineral sunscreens first, and we can think of mineral sunscreens as a literal shield, and that's why they are white. The
Hmm.
sun is bouncing off the sunscreen, and that's how that sun type of sunscreen is protecting you. And mineral sunscreens work right away. So sometimes I know like really popular with surfers is the zinc. You'll see them like with the zinc just across their face, and some of them carry it on them while they're out there in the water because you can just put it right on and it literally deflects the sun right away. So that's really great. And it is really great for sensitive skin and for kids as well. Those are always the best choices. But they do generally leave a slightly white cast. I'd say newer formulations are becoming more and more sheer with the nano. And we can talk a little bit about Sunbeam, which is our newest SPF that does that as well. And then we have our sun cream that is a mineral sunscreen that rubs in clear. So those are really good options if you're looking for mineral protection that aren't so white casty.
Hmm.
But if you're really anti-white cast, you're like, I want a sunscreen that just, I don't want to deal with the rubbing or, for POC especially, sometimes even a hybrid sunscreen that rubs in clear will maybe leave a purple sheen on you. And
Hmm.
that's, not fun either. So chemical sunscreens are a great option. And people think chemical and they get really scared, like, oh, like I don't want chemicals. And all it really means is that the sunscreen is absorbing into your skin and then your skin absorbs the sun rays to block it out. And that's why those types of sunscreens, you have to wait maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes before going out into the sun because it has to absorb into your skin before it can actually work. So if you're just throwing that on and running outside, it's not doing anything for you. You actually have to let it do its job and
Hmm.
absorb. So
Yes.
those are chemical sunscreens. Yeah, but those are great. People, I switch up in between all the different types all the time, just depending on what I'm doing
Hmm.
or what is and isn't empty on my shelf.
Yeah. Yeah. Which one do I have available in that case? That makes a lot of sense. So let me make sure, just so I have this clear. So that mineral sunscreen kind of more rests on your skin. It might give you that white overcast, but it bounces off you. Whereas chemical more so absorbs into your skin and bounces off in that sense. So you have to wait a little bit. But both are super important. Both, depending on your vibe, are still going to give you that same sun protection, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. See, I had no
Especially
idea.
Yeah, especially if you're, maybe going to go take a bunch of pictures, you probably want to reach for a chemical sunscreen because the mineral sunscreen can actually reflect a flash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they are deflecting light. So that's important to note too sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, see, that's good to know. I do have a couple SPF questions related because I myself, like I mentioned, I never wore sunscreen growing up, and now I'm like, oh, I'm going to be paying for that, so I should probably get a little bit better at this. What is the minimum SPF we should be wearing on the daily?
I think 15's fine. If you're going to be
Okay.
inside all day, 15 totally fine. It's important to know though that too, if you're going to be inside working in front of a computer, blue light is pretty much equally as aging as being outside in the sun all day. So yeah. So if you want to, that's why, red light is so popular. Blue light is
Mm-hmm.
very, very aging. So if you're going to be sitting inside all day, you want to find a sunscreen that also protects you from blue light, which is the HEV filters. So that's actually our Sunbeam is great for those types of filters. So an antioxidant that's going to block from light pollution is really important.
Oh my gosh, so we should be wearing sunscreen indoors too? I'll get better. I'll get better, you guys. But I didn't even consider that my computer has light too and might be giving me wrinkles. So fair enough. Good to know. And then how often should we be reapplying if we're going outside? And what do we do if we're wearing makeup?
Yeah, so I'd say if you're going to be outside, maybe just like makeup free, apply at least every 80 minutes.
Okay.
Um, 2 hours max if you're wearing a hat maybe. But if you're wearing makeup, I can definitely see how it's a little bit harder. I think if you stick with a really good something underneath your makeup, generally it's a little bit safer. You've got, other products on top, but maybe look for like a spray sunscreen, something that'll spray on a little bit easier. But, I've got my own thoughts about spray sunscreens as well.
Yeah. I was like, are we not a fan? We're not a fan?
I think unless you're spraying super close, a lot of it misses your face. So it's just important to get it on there.
Fair enough.
But some is better than none.
That's true. That's true. Wear something, protect your skin, or wear a hat, stay in the shade, whatever you can do to minimize that. And we have a question over on YouTube coming from Christine. And I feel like this is a perfect opportunity again to talk about your new sunscreen, because Christine wants to know, what's the best clean sunscreen? What do you recommend, possibly from MegaGlow?
I know. So all of our products are clean. When I say clean, I mean sulfate and phthalate free. And so those are both really big hormone disruptors, and which, people, especially now, we so many products, and we wear a lot of products that are 100% cotton. We're wearing a lot of plastic. So when we want to minimize the risk of things, truly especially for women like breast cancer, we want to look at things that aren't endocrine disrupting. So MegaGlow is a completely clean skincare line. Everything is green leaf compliant. We're cruelty free, and all of our ingredients are super clean, and a lot of them are botanical. Some people can be a little sensitive to botanical, so we've got a little bit of mix in there of things that are more formulated less botanical, that are available for people with more sensitive skin. If that is the case for you, maybe the Sunbeam isn't the best option, but definitely if you're looking for a mineral sunscreen, the sun cream is great. And the sun cream has glycoproteins proteins in it too, so it's really hydrating. This is one of my favorite sunscreens, but I've definitely been leaning towards the Sunbeam lately because it has a little bit of a pink tint to it from iron oxides. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but it does rub in clear, which is really nice, and you can kind of see that it leaves a really pretty sheen. So I've been reaching for this and not even doing any tinted moisturizer or foundation lately. I just do my makeup right over this sunscreen. And JC threw up some photos earlier of some different skin types, and it works great for darker skin as well, and that's always been really important to me. Some people ask, why haven't you released a tinted sunscreen? And I said, I cannot afford the range quite yet. Once I can afford the range, I will be more than happy to make a tinted sunscreen that's available for everybody.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations on launching your latest sunscreen. You guys, we will leave the link on our website as well as in the bio below to get your own. We have our Sunbeam and our Sun Cream sunscreen based on what you heard from Megan. And like she said, MegaGlow is not just about powerful ingredients, but empowering you with the knowledge in all things skincare. So thank you for sharing some of that sunscreen information with us. All right, you guys, but Megan's going to be sticking around for one last fun segment that we have coming your way. She's going to be a little player for us because we are going to play a little trivia game. So everybody get ready, because we're going to need you to play along at home. So in what's easily the quirkiest pop culture crossover that I've seen, Guy Fieri has partnered with Revlon for a limited edition lip balm called Flavor Town. This is a coral-colored, vanilla-inspired lip balm in a barbecue-inspired bullet, and it was released on both National Lipstick Day and National Chicken Wing Day on July 29th. And this, of course, has the internet split, with a lot of people thinking that it's a fun and playful mashup and brand collaboration. But other people think that this is just a ridiculous publicity stunt. Let me know what you guys think about Guy Fieri launching a lip balm. But it made me really think about how interesting it is when celebrities decide to dip their toes into the beauty space. So that's what I'm going to be quizzing you guys on today in our game of Label Lingo Celebrity Beauty Edition. So let's bring Megan back so I can describe the rules. In our game of Label Lingo, I'm going to be showing you guys a celebrity beauty brand, and you have to guess which celebrity founded it. But there's a little bit of a trick to it because every single option is a celebrity who does in fact have their own beauty brand. So all the celebrities I'll be mentioning, I'll be telling you about their beauty brands, but you have to identify the correct one. And don't worry, because skincare expert here, Megan, is going to be playing along and maybe giving you guys some tips of what she thinks might be the correct answer. And today's game of Label Lingo is sponsored by Mega Glow, where the winner of today's trivia game will receive one of these brand new Mega Glow sunscreens. So you guys got to get your answers in quickly and accurately so you can claim that prize. So Megan, are you ready to play our game of Label Lingo?
Let's do it.
I think you're going to do great, but let's see if our audience can do well as well. All right, let's hop into our first question. So question number 1, we can go ahead and start the timer. Who founded Flower Beauty? All you have to do is comment a 1, 2, 3, or 4 based on your answer. So comment whatever platform you're in and it'll automatically populate. So who started Flower Beauty? Is it Jessica Alba, Blake Lively, John Legend, or Drew Barrymore? Now, Flower Beauty is a drugstore brand sold in Walmart, and fave products include blush bombs and petal pout lip masks. So get your answers in, you guys, of which one you think started this celebrity beauty brand. All right, Megan, help our audience out. Who do you think started Flower Beauty? Any ideas? What do you think? Okay, Megan says Drew Barrymore, but get your answers in, you guys. You got 3 seconds left. Looks like I see Christine, Mary, Obella Mafia, a few people in the chat. So split decision here. So we're already some things going wrong. Megan says the correct answer is Drew Barrymore, and that is the correct answer. So nobody got it right. You guys got to listen to our skincare expert, Megan. Yes, but don't worry, because let me tell you about some of these other beauty brands. So Jessica Alba does have the Honest Company, which is known for their clean skincare and baby-safe formulas. Blake Lively has her Blake Brown Company, which is for hairstyling solutions. And John Legend has Loved 01, which is a skincare company specifically made for melanin-rich skin. But it is our favorite talk show host, besides me, Drew Barrymore, who owns Flower Beauty. So well done there. Maybe you guys should listen to Megan for this next question coming your way. All right, our next question in our game of Label Lingo, identifying who started this company. All right, so for our next one, who founded, let me make sure our photo's up there. Next photo. There we go. Ooh, okay, guys, let's start that timer. Who founded the company Pleasing? Is it Jennifer Lopez, Rihanna, Harry Styles, or Scarlett Johansson? Now, if you guys have been paying attention, I actually talked about this not only this episode, but also last episode as well. So maybe you've been paying attention. But Pleasing is a gender-neutral lifestyle company that has nail polish, fragrances, and some psychedelic packaging, as well as some other new brand products. Now, Megan, who do you think founded Pleasing? Yeah. Oh, Roddy's gonna. Oh my gosh, yes. You guys, too, if you're not paying attention, I literally just talked about this. We literally just said this, and you guys still didn't get it. Christine, why are you guessing Scarlett Johansson? I was just talking about Harry Styles' Pleasing brand. But the correct answer is B3 Harry Styles with the Pleasing brand. But let me tell you about some of the other celebrities. So Jennifer Lopez owns JLo Beauty, and they're known for their JLo Glow Serum, which she says is the key to her ageless skin. Rihanna, of course, has has Fenty, where they broke the internet for their 40+ shade line of foundations. And Scarlett Johansson actually surprised me. I didn't know that she had her own company, but she founded The Outset, which is a minimalistic, fragrance-free skincare company. But it is everyone's favorite rock star, Harry Styles, who, of course, founded the Pleasing brand. So if you're paying attention, you guys would have gotten that one correct. But we have another celebrity beauty brand coming your way, so make sure to get your answers in as quick as you can. Which celebrity founded the brand Haus Labs? Was it Selena Gomez, Jared Leto, Lady Gaga, or Serena Williams? And again, all of these celebrities have beauty brands, but who founded Haus Labs? Now, Haus Labs is known for their Skin Tech Foundation. That's basically clean, long-wearing, but also award-winning for its ingredients. But which celebrity founded this company as well? So, Megan, you want to give a guess and help people with this one? Who do you think started Haus Labs? Okay, Megan, we can't hear you, but I think you're mouthing Lady Gaga. Was that your? Okay. I was like, she knows her Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga, too, is on tour for the Mayhem Ball right here in LA, and I've been seeing people's outfits, so that might be a good guess there. Christine's in the chat. She's actually listening to you this time, because I just yelled at her for that one. I didn't mean to yell at you, Christine. But the correct answer is, in fact, Lady Gaga. Yes, so you guys got that one correct, that she is the founder of Haus Labs. Selena Gomez, of course, owns Rare Beauty, which is a super popular, especially for their blushes. But Jared Leto was another celebrity I was surprised by. He owns the company 29 Palms, where they sell high-end genderless skincare inspired by the Palm Springs desert. Serena Williams also has her own beauty brand called Win Beauty, and it's an inclusive, performance-ready makeup brand, which makes sense for the tennis star. But you guys got that one right, that Lady Gaga is the founder of Haus Labs. But we got one last question coming your way, so let's see if anybody can take the lead and win that Mega Glow prize package, because our final question comes from, you guys, who founded REM Beauty? It's kind of a niche one, so let's see if you guys know this one. Was it Ariana Grande, Pharrell Williams, Victoria Beckham, or Hailey Bieber? Again, all of these celebrities have their own beauty brand, but which one founded REM? So with this brand, they're popular for their dream lashes and lip stains. And REM does stand for rapid eye movement, conveying that dream-like visuals for the brand, very airy and luxurious as well. Who could that be about? Who could that be for? I see some people in the comments, they're guessing Victoria Beckham so far. Megan is giving you guys a hint here. She suggests that you type in D1 for Ariana Grande. We have another guess for Pharrell Williams as well. Okay, and Ariana Grande, get your answers in, you guys. You got 5 seconds left. We're gonna see who's gonna be taking home the Mega Glow skincare. But the correct answer for REM Beauty, your last hint, is that it's also based off of one of her songs. And that, of course, is Ariana Grande. So Megan went 4 for 4. She knows her celebrity beauty brands, and she knew that this one was Ariana Grande. But again, the other celebrities have their own brands as well. So Pharrell Williams is the founder of Human Race, which sells dermatologist-developed skincare, another skincare brand. Victoria Beckham has Victoria Beckham Beauty, which is luxurious, clean makeup with that Fashion Week flair. And Hailey Bieber, as we know, has Rhode Beauty, and she is known for that. What is it? The iPhone case, lip gloss on it. We all know it, Justin Bieber's new song. But that was our game of Label Lingo. Thank you, Megan, for playing along and giving our viewers some hints as well. And thanks to all of our players. We had lots of players in there, but we will be letting you guys know directly in whatever app you're on if you are the winner, because we do have a winner who's going to be taking home a prize package of Mega Glow sunscreen, which again is a new sunscreen that Mega Glow just launched, and it is going to address all of your SPF concerns. So if you're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Make sure you're checking your DMs because we will DM you if you are the winner and you guessed the fastest and most accurately for these celebrity beauty brands. But Megan, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you about telling us all about Skincare 101, all of the SPF basics. Make sure you guys go follow Megan. You can follow her personal journey into motherhood and some of those day-to-day vlogger lifestyles over on her TikTok at Megan. But make sure you're also following Mega Glow for all of their incredible products. Again, they're all about powerful ingredients, but educating you as well with all of your own personal skincare needs. But Megan, it was so nice chatting with you. Thanks so much for hopping on with us. Thanks for dealing with some of our technical problems, but we appreciate you sharing all of your expertise. So we will see you later. Bye, Megan. Thank you. All right, you guys. Okay, this is so silly, you guys. There's a spider right here coming down from the ceiling. So you can't even see it. It's right here. So I'm gonna lean over here and I'm gonna end the show. But thank you guys so much for tuning into our episode of Lifestyles. Again, this is a real-time live talk show that's interactive, super fun, and we appreciate you guys for being here and playing along with some of our polls and games. And if you want to participate before the next show even starts, you gotta make sure that you're following us. So make sure you're following us. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at lifestyles.tv. Or you can also follow me as well. I'm on TikTok at JCAaron_ for some other things in my own personal life as well. But you can also check out Mega Glow and some more about Megan over on our website, where we're going to be sharing all of the links and all of the Skincare 101 tips that she shared in today's show. So thank you guys so much. We will see you next time for our next episode of Lifestyles. Toodles!